Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian indices, and starting with Elliott wave for the ASX 200 here, and from intermediate wave 4 here we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 and 4, and moving up for wave 5 here. Now there is a bit of a problem with this, and that is that this is the length of wave 1 here, and wave 3 here cannot be the smallest wave structure within the structure of an impulse wave. So wave 1, wave 3 and wave 5. Wave 3 cannot be the smallest. So what can occur here, even though that wave 3 is smaller, we would expect wave 5 to be even smaller still, smaller than wave 3. So we'll keep that in mind, but if I've made an error in here, then it would be that this wave 4 is not in play yet, and would need to look at this as wave 4 and going up here for wave 5 here, but I can't see how that fits just yet. So I'm still playing with this a little bit, so not to worry. What we will be doing though is that we'll be looking for this little structure here. Let's just go into the 4-hour chart. So we'll just play it with what we know at this stage. So in this little structure here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4. So we're looking for wave 5 to move up for Friday and Monday, and then a corrective pattern occurring here. So our job, if I go to the hourly chart where we're already long in this here, I had this labeled in a smaller degree last time, but I think that we could be looking at this here. So wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 here, and wave 4 here. This low needs to stay in place here now, and then wave 5 up here, because from wave 2 low here to wave 3 here, the 30 8% retracement level is in play here. So we want those lows to stay in. If those lows are breached, then we need to look back at the at a lower level here, which would be taking this low here and this high here. That would bring us back down into this space here. Okay, so and then we'd have to call all of this as wave 1 to the upside, and then a wave, a B wave and a C wave down here. So this is quite critical. So we've been long from here, from this trend line through here. We just get rid of this here. So we've been long from here and from here, and now we can, with this wave 4 stop in play here, we need to put that on this low here. Okay, so I'll just put that there. That gives us a good trade and also protects us as well. The target area here would be this this area here, so we can expect, even once this falls into play here, the 61.8% will still be about here somewhere, so it may not pull all that way back, so we'll just be mindful of that. The first thing that we look for is group 1 here and group 2 here for the correction to play out in. But what we will have, once this moves up here in 5 waves up here, then we'll have the first high above the level, so then that will also give us our reference point to go along there. So we're not going to miss anything to the upside here. And if this is breached here today, then you need to be on the short side from this point back down into this space here. The tick chart's not going to tell us much here that we don't already know, but we'll look at it anyway. So wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here. So it looks like we're on the sort of right track here now with a push up from here. So I can't draw on this side, but there'll be a 1, 2 and 3 here. There'll be a 4 and a 5 up to here, then an ABC back again here. So if you're going long in this space here, which is fine, then you'll still need to leave the stop here, and the target will be the 6400, but it could also be above that as well into group 1 above that. So we'll have 10, 20 and 30 there, so we wouldn't expect it to find support on top of 30, but if it did, then we need to be long from that point. Okay, so moving on into China, just get my bearings here. So with China, we were looking at this is being a possible low in place here, so we were also looking for 5 waves up into this space here, and then looking for an ABC back here. So we've got the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. Not quite sure if that's finished, but it'll be very close because this is the 61.8% mark here. So I just want to allow that to play out here. We don't need to go long in this particular space just yet. What we want to find here, because there is another dilemma with all of this, which I'll talk about on the Hong Kong market, which is basically the same pattern. But what we'd want to see this do is finish off down here, and then we'd want to see it give us 5 little waves to the upside here, and then an A and a B and a C correction. Then we can move in at this point here once we've got this 5 waves here. Okay, so either that, or we can copy that and move that down onto support here at this point. So a little way to go just yet, but that's where we're looking at this for the moment. And the Hong Kong market, yeah, so we're looking at this as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then looking at this as an A and a B and a C wave moving down into this space, which is all on track here. So what we want to do here is allow this to finish off here, and then we want to see 5 waves up here too. But more importantly, we want to see that first high above the level at 28,000, and then once that's had its little ABC here, then we can go along from that point, and we can also bring that down onto the second high. Well, you can do that. The other point here that I really a little bit concerned about, where are we here, sorry, is that we've been over this a few times. It's possible that this wave 4 that I've got sitting here to come down to wave 5 here is actually sitting over here, making this here, or basically this green A wave here would be here, and then an A and a B and a C for the B wave here, and then up for the C wave here to make wave 4 here. So it's quite possible that we've actually got this to come down here further to finish off this this wave 4 down here. But I wasn't going to go there, and we've talked about this before, but I'm not going to go there until I get some evidence, and the evidence would be that this number here would become the retested resistance here at the 60, so we'll be looking at the 61.8% mark here becoming the resistance here, not the support. So this is why we're waiting for this here and not buying on the low here, because we could get trapped here. So we want this pattern to emerge here to go along on there. Moving into Japan here. With Japan here, we've got this here as a wave 4 low in place here with wave 1 here, ABC for wave 2 here, then wave 1 and wave 2 here, and then we're moving off into this space here. Now that's all been fine, and we've had to gather evidence along the way for this and so on and so on. But we want this 23,000 to be the support here. That will help us confirm that we'll actually be moving up to the 25,000 at that point. But it always takes time to gather support on a level like this. So it's always the sort of the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then a little ABC correction, and then moving up here. So it is a process here. All of these have failed so far. So we still need that to get on there. There is another bearish count here. I'm going to show you, but I don't think it's the case, but it's possible where we forget about this wave 4 here and we have the wave 4 over here, and then we look at this as the A wave to here, and then we have a triangle pattern all the way over for this B wave, which will be on this low here. So we can consider wave B with a triangle, and then wave C to the upside. There's still one more little move to go in here to finish that, I think. And then from here we can move down. So it's there. I just got to point it out, and we'll work through this bearish count, and we'll also work through this bullish count here as well. But it's this setup that we're looking for here. So with that in mind, if I just go into the 4-hour chart should do the trick. So We've got it like this so far. So we want to have this wave 5 here. We've got wave 1 and 2 here, nice strong third wave here, and a fourth wave and a fifth wave here. So we're looking for another push to the upside here, and once that occurs there, then we'll see this as an ABC pattern here, and then further to the upside at that point here. So yeah, that's sort of where we are here. This can be counted a little bit differently as well, in that this particular wave 3 is not finished. I'll just go to the hourly chart to have a look at that. So in this case, from this low here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves all the way up for the third wave here, the fourth wave here, then the fifth wave here, then another fourth and a fifth. It's just something I need to work through, but for the time being, we don't have to worry too much. We're just looking for this to finish here and move up into this space, and we'll certainly see a correction back into this space here at this point in time. So I'll just leave it at that. So if you're long, you want to close those trades out above this wave 3 here. So 23,200 to 23,300 in that space there, and also for India as well. Here we're looking a nice bullish run here. So from this wave 4 here, we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and then looking at wave 3 to the upside, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3. So we're looking for an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, okay, and then wave 5 to the upside. Now, it's okay to call a top in as such, but in terms of trading, we don't want to. This is a strong trend. We don't want to fight it, so we need a strategy in here to continue with the trend. But at the same time, we need to understand at what point this is going to start pulling back lower in here. So we'll get into that in a moment. But the other point that I want to make here is that I felt like I've counted this correctly through here, but I can also, I've got the feeling that I've made a mistake in here as well. I just can't see it at this particular point in time, and the mistake would be that we're not really seeing a good wave 4 for blue wave 4 here. So for wave 2 here, it's quite definite. It is quite clear. We've got this clear change in trend here for wave 2, but we don't see that here in wave 4 here. But I have spent a fair bit of time counting all through here, and this was sort of my conclusion. But when I look at the daily chart here, it just doesn't seem that we've got a proper wave 4 correction for this blue structure here. Look, so not that it's going to matter at this particular stage, because both wave 4s, even if we're pulling back for a blue wave 4 or a minute degree wave 4 or a minor wave 4, it's not going to make any difference. The point is, because they'll come back to the same space anyway, but we need to work out if we've got a top in play here. So from there, we'll go to the 4-hour chart, and we're sort of looking at it like this because I'll just go to the hourly chart here. We're counting to the upside here of wave 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, all the third wave up here, the fourth and the fifth. So I thought we might have made it to the 11.8 because 8's a profit-taking number, but it started to roll over before that. So we have been stopped out here, which was basically the stop we had over here. So that can go there. We're stopped out here. But the interesting point here is that the move down here so far is only in 3 waves. So it can be corrective as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. So it could, if I've made a mistake, then it can go up from this point here. So I guess one thing that we could look at here is if this was going to move lower here. Let's just have a look at this for a moment. Okay, sorry, just checking something else out. But so this is the if we looked at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and looking at a bearish scenario and wave 3 down here, then okay, that doesn't help, does it? I think we've actually got 5 waves there already. So we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, the fourth wave and the fifth wave here. So we could pull back up. Let's just be a little bit safe here, and it's still okay because it still plays in to where I'm thinking anyway. So what I was thinking is that if we get, copy that, if we get support on 700, then you can go long from that point, because that would be the retracement level here. So if we got support on that, then we can go from that point there. This level here is extremely important as well. I've mentioned it before. I always say that 600 is important and 700 is important, but the 650, the halfway mark, which is halfway between there, but it's also the halfway mark between 800 and 500. So it's as you can see, it plays out quite nicely here. So if you're going to short this, you would really want that 650 as the resistance here, wouldn't you? So first of all, the count up here, all this large trend up here, going short here, we would only be fighting the trend, but that's okay. But we just need we need to find the battleground to do that fight. So the 650 as a retested resistance is the short trade trigger here. So the market would come down to this number, bounce back off, which it has done, come back through here, find it as resistance here. Then you would use your reference point low here, 1 point below the low, and then go to short it from this point. Okay. Yeah, and on the long side here, you would certainly want this here as the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, corrective point here, and then going across here and going up from that point there. So that would be the way to play both of those out here. And if this is going to move down, well, then we can expect it to move down into this space, down back into the wave 4 of one lesser degree here, whichever one it is. That's where we would be looking. And this would be a larger correction across this particular number here, the medium level, 11,500. So let's just see what we get here. We were looking for a top, didn't quite get to where I wanted to get. We got stopped out, but still a good trade. And now we just want to gather some evidence to find out where we are. All right, well, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and also enjoy the weekend. I will be going away next week from Monday to Friday, so I will be working on my laptop while I'm away, but I won't be here on the home number, so please use emails. Thank you. Cheers.